Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first ever independent hotelier workshop. First ever, it's kind of it's never been done in the history of AAHOA. First ever workshop, right? And definition of a workshop, it's when a group of us get together and we actively have discussions on a particular subject. This particular subject that we're gonna have, independent hoteliers. AAHOA listened, right? We've been talking to AAHOA like, hey, we need more stuff for independent hoteliers, and this is what it is right here. Let's take a poll here real quick. Raise your hand if you are looking to become an independent hotelier like for the first time. Anybody in this room? Oh yeah, we got a couple of people. First time independent hotelier owners. Nice, welcome. You're gonna find a lot of this stuff very valuable because we're gonna be laying the foundation here. How many of you guys own brands? I know I do. Sorry, you're gonna have to leave. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You don't have to leave. You can just stick around. How many of you think you are thinking about converting from a brand to independent? Oh, we got a couple of people here too. Oh, we got claps too. Okay, all right, good. Well, welcome. You guys are all here and in the right place because we're about to dive deep right here. Okay. Let's talk about today. Today's schedule. I'm gonna be here talking about the mindset of a CEO, and I'm going to get into that here in a little bit in a second. But we're going to be talking about marketing and sales, operations. In order for us to lay the foundation for today, my coach always says, you can't build a mansion off of quicksand. You have to have good foundation, right? So that's what we're going to do here. That's what I'm going to do here is lay the foundation for you guys. Let me give you a quick analogy of what I mean, right? Let's say you're the quarterback of a football team, right? You're on the 20-yard line and you're trying to get into the end zone. You have 21 other people that are in your way trying to get to the end zone, right? It's very hard, and half those people are trying to kill you because they're on defense and trying to attack you. So now imagine if your offensive coordinator is sitting like in one of the boxes. Now think about the vantage point that you have. You can see both teams. You can see both touchdowns. You can see substitutions. Better yet, think about if you were the Goodyear blimp, right? 40,000 feet up in the air. Now you can see the whole stadium. You can see the fans. You can see the parking lot. You can see everything else. So what we're going to do today is be the Goodyear blimp, right? And then these guys that are leading the next sessions are going to go in depth. So this is 40,000 square feet up in the air. That's what we're going to do. So that's the football analogy. We're going to talk about 14 different accountabilities that all businesses should have, including a hotel, right? Number one that you see up there is owner. The primary responsibility for an owner is it worth it? Ask the question, is it worth it? Is it, sometimes I do a feasibility study to find out if it's worth it, right? That's the number one question that you should ask when you're going to open up a business is it worth it? Do the research on that. Number two is COO. You need somebody to run it. And that's the primary job of the CEO. I like to put COO instead of CEO. CEO is kind of a sexy title to me. You need somebody who's a COO who actually runs the whole business, right? The next tab, we're going to kind of jump around here because next thing that you got to have, it says R&D, which stands for research and development, which equals products and services. Listen, if you're going to open up a business, you got to have products and services to sell. That's the main thing, and that's why it's listed number 3, right? Number 4 we have is marketing. Inside the marketing departments, you have accountability number 4, which is get the information into your company. What are you doing to get information into your company? And so there's 3 things I like to evaluate when you want to get information in. Number 1 is the climate. And think about it like what is the political climate? What is the climate in your area? What is your state climate? Think about all the different conditions that your hotel could be in. That's the kind of research you want to do for marketing purposes. Next one is competition. Check out your competition and do the research for them so that way you know what they're doing and maybe you want to do or what they're doing and you're not doing. And then the last C for that is customer. Find out who your customers are and research that. Why? Because once you get all those three things in, the next step is you want to push that out, marketing out, marketing from out. And the two ways to do that is through channels, various different channels, right? Social media, website, and then the other one is content. You're gonna need all the stuff that you researched. You're gonna need all that stuff in order to promote it going out. Right? It's kind of simple. I'm gonna keep it very basic here. Once you have all your marketing and researching done, guess what? The next step is pretty simple: sales. Convert them. That's the only responsibility for the sales team, is to convert your marketing into actual customers. Simple. 7 is customer service. Very important here. And it says R&R, which stands for repeat and referral. The main job of customer service is to bring people back. That's the only job. And think about all the different ways that you as a hotelier can bring people back. Think about all the different touch points in the hotel. Your front desk, your housekeepers, your maintenance man, your signage at your hotel, your lobby. So many different ways you can bring people in, and that's the main accountability for customer service. The next one is manage facilities. Now, we're not talking about just hotel here, manage your facilities, but we're talking about all the different places of where you do business, right? Like, for example, website is places where you do business. So this is the accountability right there where you make sure that you're doing all the things necessary, that you're converting all your customers on this website. And Craig and Lula, and we got people here who will help you with that kind of stuff. Web Refresh and my other friends over there, I forgot their name now, but that's okay. The table over there in the back, CyberWeb. Yes, CyberWeb, yes. All those guys are here to help you with that. Manage your facilities. Next one, we're gonna talk about finance. Finance is pretty simple. Accounts receivable, accounts payable, transactional or tax compliance. You're gonna need somebody, obviously, who does taxes, who does from today and backwards. And I put number 12 on a different category. It's called strategic. Strategic stands for somebody who does stuff, accounting that's from today and forward. So somebody who does budgeting, somebody who does forecasting, somebody who does cash flow analysis. In my mind, those two people are usually not the same. They have different mentalities, so that's why I split them up in two different boxes. And then the last one is compliance, right? Oops, I'm going backwards. And compliance is two things. Box number 13 is HR compliance. Make sure you have all your legal stuff for your people, and then a legal compliance. So if you look at marketing, sales, operation, finance, and HR and legal, that's what today's session is all about. We have one segment that's marketing, sales. We have one segment that's operation. We have one segment that's finance, and we have one segment that's people and culture. So that's what it's about, guys. Does anybody have any questions, by the way? No? I want to go back to something that I totally forgot that I think is important regarding customer service. Customer service is a chance for we all in the hotel world to create wows and create ahas. Now, what I mean by wow, let's poll you guys. Have you ever been to a hotel and been like, oh, wow, that was pretty good? Can anybody name me an example of when you went to a hotel? Brandy, Prashant, do you have a mic? Oh, let me get you a mic.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is actually one time I visited India, and I actually went to Goa. And so it's really beautiful there if you've ever been there. It's absolutely beautiful. And this hotel that I stayed at, and I can't remember the name of it, but as soon as you entered, they brought you freshly squeezed juice on a plate on this beautiful platter. And for me, that was like, oh my gosh, I've never had that experience ever in my life, and that was like a wow. Definitely a wow for me.
See, there you go. Something that you didn't expect, right? That's a wow moment. An aha moment is something that you discovered something, right? Something that you didn't think was there, and then you discovered it. They told you something. Oh, come visit this restaurant. that's in our premises, and you didn't know about it. So I just wanted to mention that real quick because I think it's important for customer service. But other than that, these are the accountabilities. These are basic accountabilities. But who here wants to get bigger and own another independent hotel or another hotel, right? Almost everybody wants to grow and get bigger, right? And so what I found out is that if you have job descriptions for each one of these little boxes, now you can easily grow, because if I want to like social media, if I want to have like a job description for social media, now I can easily externally give that out to my team. Like, hey, you guys take care of social media. I'm not going to be in charge of it anymore. Here it is. Finance, here it is. So create job descriptions for each one of these boxes, and it'll help you grow. So that was it. That was the mindset of a CEO. I would like to bring on the next presenter. First of all, does anybody have any questions? It's pretty basic. Okay, good. Remember, guys, I want this to be interactive. This is not supposed to be like just me talking on the stage or these guys talking on the stage. If you have questions, we have people with mics. Feel free to ask them. We want this to be interactive. We want this to be a workshop. So, and I'm excited. Another thing I'm going to tell you is at the end of the slideshow, very important. It's a QR code with a survey. We need your feedback, please. First time we're ever doing this, and so the more information you could give us, the more we could help develop the next one. But that was it. So let me introduce you to the next person, marketing and sales. Mr. Pinkesh, if you please come on. Do you want the panelists to come on too? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I guess good evening, everyone. And today we're going to talk, for this section, we're going to talk about marketing and sales. It's important things in our independent property. So my name is Pinkesh Patel. I'm President and CEO of Queen City Hotels and Management, and I own an independent hotel as well. So I'm an independent hotelier, and I'm proud of it. I don't have people tell me, listen, I have this brand, that. I'm proud where I'm at. Right? So how can we success more? And now we have a good paneling with us today to go through more deeper dive into the marketing and sales. So please, my panel comes in. Craig, where's the mic? We have two only here. We'll give you guys back again. Brandy, Mitez, Lula, please. These peoples are expert in marketing and sales. They are here to help us understand more, deeper dive into the marketing and sales. Right? Craig, you want to introduce yourself first if we go from the line? I know Lula's come. Okay.
Is this on? Can everyone hear me?
Turn on the mic. Yeah.
So my name's Craig Carbonare. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Any LA Los Angelinos here? San Diego? San Diego's close enough. I'll take that, people. I represent Milestone. We are a digital marketing software as well as services agency. The reason why I say that is because there's a lot of information that I plan to share today about our experience working with hotels similar to yours, specifically independent hotels. So talking about things like trends from Google and some technology that you might look to implement at your hotel. So anyways, really excited for the panel. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Go ahead, Lula.
Hello, I'm Lula Cassidy, and I have been in the hotel industry for quite a while, and I have worked with franchisees from the very beginning of Bennigan's Restaurants, from the ground up. I also worked with franchisees opening over 600 hotels of franchises with La Quinta Inn and Suites. And my brand background is with Great Wolf Resorts and creating that from the dirt all the way up to the brand it is today. Interactive Marketing is a solution company. What we do in revenue optimization, sales, and marketing is helping independent hotels find their way in revenue optimization, making sure that they are going to run above their comp set in every market. Good times, bad times, it doesn't matter. They're going to run ahead of the comp set. And we find those solutions through partnering with people, whether that's through the technology, and even some people here on the panel, and working to help make sure the owner of a hotel does not have to Google search, for better words.
Good afternoon. I'm a disgruntled owner of a hotel. I'm very upset with brands, but I've got tired of complaining about them. So my passion is to learn, keep learning, and then to share to my fellow community and owners how they can take a branded property to make it independent, to be successful, and not need the brands. My name's Matish Patel, and I hope we can teach you something, and I hope to keep learning to be able to tell our community and our industry how we can be successful without the brand. That will hurt their pockets, and at that point, they will give us the fair franchising. We won't have to ask for it.
Hi, my name is Brandy, and I have been in the lodging industry my entire adult life, but how I got here would probably surprise most of you. I grew up very poor. Most days we woke up wondering if we would have heat or water, and every single day I woke up wondering if I would eat that day. And I remember one time actually digging through my neighbor's trash can for bread so that I could feed my brothers and myself. And I remember in that moment, I made the decision that I would do whatever it takes to be successful. And that as soon as I had the ability and the power to do so, I would make sure that I was never in that position again. And so at 14 years old, I ran away from home. And at 18 years old, with my own resources, I bought my first house. I bought my second house when I was 19, and now at 37 years old, I own 23 houses, 7 independent hotels, and 2 campgrounds across 12 different states. And today, I'm here with my associates here to prove to you that you can not only survive as an independent hotelier, but you can thrive. And I am living proof that if you put your mind to it, anything is possible.
Thank you. Like I said earlier, they're all unique on their own way. So start with the first question. Craig, I have it for you, Ed. What's the next generation of search and impact on independent hotel?
Sure, thank you, Pikesh. So I won't go too deep into that topic at the beginning. If you want to see a demo of your hotel, I'll be sitting over here. We'll take a look at it. I think what's exciting, and I'm glad Mitesh, you brought that up on the brand side. Who's played around now with AI or has started to use it at your hotel? Show of hands. Has anyone played? Awesome. Google's doing the same thing. And what's exciting for the independent hotelier is they're really leveling the playing field, leveraging this new technology. So we can all agree, right? A brand or an OTA, their promise is to provide you the visibility, right? And we'd all agree at some level that's the value that they offer. Today, with the use of AI, Google's just trying to give credit to the authority. And oftentimes, that's each one of you in this room, the business. So the next generation of search, which is here today, by the way, it's called Search Generative Experience. I just booked a vacation for my family in Monterey last week using this technology. And it's a conversation I had with Google that they're now using their knowledge to provide me with the right results. In every case, it led me to an independent hotel, right? So this is an exciting time for all of us with the use of artificial intelligence and technology. Again, Search Generative Experience, it's available today. I have a beta link. If anyone wants to see me afterwards, I'll happy to share it with you and do kind of a quick demo of your hotel. We'll take a deeper look at it. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Craig. You know, every time when you want something, let's put a search. Anything, tools, paint, whatever it is, what's new in the market. You can ask, they're getting smarter and smarter. We have to be getting smarter as well to generate more revenue, increase our bottom line, right? So these people are telling you that exactly, and I know, I'm a first generation hotelier. And some of those things are new for me too. I want to learn, I learn every day. You know, everybody in here, hotelier, they learn. We have challenges every day, different challenges every day. One day is this, the other day is that. How can we face it? But you can do this. Smart AI is everywhere. But thank you, Craig, for this answer, right? Next, we're going to go to Lula. What is USP, unique selling proposal, and why does an independent hotel need one?
You know, I find with many properties, when we go to assist them, we'll go off the exit, and we find that many of the properties, there'll be 12 to 17 properties off an exit, and they'll all be, we'll go to look them up, and every one of those properties is a 2.5 star rated property. There's nothing unique about that. So if we are trying to go after and sell a particular client, a particular business, we really never asked them what they wanted to begin with. We never went out to that corporation. We never went out to the park and recreations. We never stopped to ask economic development, hey, what kind of hotel are you looking for? That's the advantage that an independent hotel has. You can go out into the market, you can ask the stakeholders, what are you looking for? And many times they will tell you from an independent standpoint, we're really needing a 3-star or a 3.5. We need something unique and we need something themed, and it has to be more than just an economy property of people just passing through. So you really need to have to determine what you want and what you want to sell as a unique property and the experience that you want to deliver. And we often find that we can drive more sales in independence when we know exactly what we want and exactly the type of client we're going after because we did the research first.
Thank you, Lula. You know what it is? Every property is unique. You got to sell your product. What you going to do different than somebody to make your sell go higher? That's what unique is talking about. That's what you're going to sell. If you have a good property or a good market, if you're in ocean, right? Just an example, beach area, whatever. So you have to have a pool. You're going to sell your more room because you have a pool and ocean. Something unique in your brand, in your property. Sorry, not brand. But thank you, Lula. But that's my just a more in deeper dive, right? Next, we're going to go to Mitesh. What is some non-traditional way to do sales that independent hotelier can impact to drive more revenue?
So how many of you have Wi-Fi at your hotel? Right?
Everybody's, I think.
You pretty much can't have Wi-Fi, especially if you have kids. Wi-Fi is almost more important than the bed in the room. And if you're like me, you learned through COVID that toilet tissue is the second most important thing that you can't rent a room without. But anyway, so I went to a restaurant, and my kid, of course, wanted Wi-Fi because he wants to play a game. And so I went to go log on to the Wi-Fi. I asked the waitress, hey, how can I log on? And she said, well, you have to go to this thing and either put your phone number or your email address. I said, okay. So I did it, then it sent me a PIN. So it verified that it was actually me asking for the Wi-Fi code. Once it gave me the Wi-Fi code, the next thing that popped up, it said, yeah, you're connected to the Wi-Fi. Thank you for joining us at the restaurant today, blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was, man, this is really, really neat. Like, that they somehow captured my email and my phone number, and at my hotel, I just give them the Wi-Fi code. I don't actually ask for anything. I thought that was really cool. And then 2 days later, I get a text message from them that says, hey, thanks for visiting us, but next time you come, you get a free drink. And I thought that was kind of cool. And then, we didn't go for a while, same restaurant, maybe 2 or 3 weeks went by. I get a random text message, a random email from them, says, hey, you haven't visited us in a while. If you come back next time, I guess they knew from my order that I got a kids meal for my kid. So they said, next time you come, you get a free kids meal. So I was kind of obliged to go. I was like, man, this is kind of weird that I just have to have a text message. So when I went back, I just showed them the text message. They scanned the code. They gave me my kids free kids meal. And I thought, why am I not doing this at my hotel? I should have this. This is, I'm not smart enough to make it happen, but there's folks out there like Brandy's company, Cyberweb, and that they can do these types of things, but we've just been giving Wi-Fi for free, which is fine to give it for free, but we should get something back. And so I think for independent hotels, we have to be different than the brands. And that's one very specific way I know we can be different. Is there a cost associated? Yeah, there's a little bit of cost, but do you get the guest email or phone number? And now can you make it very easy to reach out to them? Yes. And can you see, hey, they haven't came back in a week or 2 weeks or any kind of sort of special. Hey, we got a summer special, spring special, extra discount. Somehow get them to be different than the branded hotel that may be right next door to you. So I think that was very, very clever and a very unique way for independent hotels to be able to use that sort of technology to try to drive revenue and sales and marketing into your own properties.
And I can add on to that a little bit because you were kind of giving me a little nod there. That is something that's available to all of you right now. And what's so useful about that is you can integrate it in different ways. So you can have the guest scan a QR code, for example, to connect to your Wi-Fi. And before they connect, they can provide their information, like their phone number or their email address. And so you can start the interaction at that point in time. So if the guest has any problems during their stay, you're heading that off right in that moment where they can actually have a two-way communication with your front desk staff or whoever you have assigned to that position. Where they can say, I need this, or I'm having a problem with this. Can you send somebody? And in that way, before that issue would escalate and turn into a negative review, you're handling that right there on site. And then also you have that information captured, so for potential repeat guests in the future, you can do just like you said, and you can retarget them, which is really a really powerful tool.
Thank you, Tess. Let me tell you why these panels are so good. I've been in market for 25 years in hotelier, right? I never thought of this. Did you guys ever thought on this, doing this? You go everywhere, you put those information. Did you ever thought we can implement that in our hotel industry? No. See, this is what we're talking about. Right? You learn something different every day. I'm telling you, today is going to be every minute. Right? Next, we go to Brandy. How can a hotelier gain more direct booking to their independent hotel?
Absolutely. So one of the most powerful tools that I've implemented with my properties that I know from firsthand is so critical and can help you so much to drive more direct bookings is a simple adjustment in your call flow. So I have automations in place where when the guest calls into the property, it will first prompt them by asking if they are a current guest or they're looking to make a reservation. And if they select the prompt to say they're looking to make a reservation, you can actually have a text message immediately sent to that caller or potential guest with the link to book directly with you. And so in that way, you're capturing that reservation right there without having to pay OTAs, without having to lose a lot of commission in that. And that's a simple step that starts at the beginning of that process, which can really provide a higher level of not only service and interaction, but allow you as the hotelier to save more revenue. In my case, almost all of my reservations come from direct bookings just by implementing that simple tool.
Thank you, Bradley. Lula, this question for you. Where do you start and should you use segment when pricing? How can you do that for pricing and how can you start it?
One of the things that we first do is we go to the Tourism Bureau out and find calendars, convention calendars, anything that we can find so we know what the traffic's going to be and the compression from cities around us. So if we were to price your hotel, we're going to first look at the calendar, 365 days, and we're going to find all the days that we're going to sell out. We just know that we're going to sell out. It's just always busy. There's always a special event. Something's going on. And we're going to go with the top rate right off the bat. If we have to lower 14 days prior to arrival, then we would do that. We have reverse thinking with independent hotels. We go higher, then we go lower. So that's the first thing that we would do with the pricing. And then we put in the seasons, and we'll find those seasons out through the Tourism Bureau. They know and they have many stats that we can look at. So it's very important as an independent hotel that you also price 18 months out. Many of the brands, their systems don't price that far out. Many times I find that we're pricing a year out, and we have some international guests in many of our locations, like airport locations, that book as much as 175 days out. And many properties don't have rates loaded. So we are always prepared about 18 months out.
Thank you. What's he talking about? It's putting your price out in the market ahead of time. So when people search, they know pricing. What are you going for? You can change it always by, like they say, season. When you're seasonally, like in your mountain, the winter are slower, summers are better, something like that, right? But you put it ahead of time, so that way the customer, when they search for it, you come up with a price. So you can beat the brand before they put their price on it. Right? Next, we're going to go with Mitesh. What can you do locally or in your area to drive sales to independent hotel?
So locally, for independent hotels, and in any hotel, branded hotels, I know there's several people in here with branded properties as well. But more specifically for independent hotels, because again, you have to be a little bit different. You have to be a little bit extra. For me, I'm from Pensacola, Florida, and I actually got on to the Visit Pensacola board. And Visit Pensacola, what they do is they're like the tourist destination. So they drive all the tourism to Pensacola. And by being on that board, I knew what events were coming into Pensacola before anybody else knew what events were coming to Pensacola. And then not only was I on that board, they had a committee, which was a grant committee. So I got on their grant committee. And so now folks were coming to our grant committee and asking for funds, bed tax dollars. They're asking for these bed tax dollars, and I knew a year in advance what they were asking for and what event they were going to ask for and who was going to come to the event. So that gave me a leg up. I did that on Visit Pensacola. Visit Pensacola's board, I was 3-year term, I termed out. On the grant committee, they don't have a term out. So I've been on that thing for like last 4 or 5 years. Now I'm on the Pensacola Sports Association board. Same thing with Pensacola Sports. They bring all the sports events into town every year. And so, one, because you're on the board, the rest of the staff that's part of Pensacola Sports, when something comes into town, they know that, one, I'm a hotel owner, and two, I'm also on their board, so I get a little leg up on, hey, who's coming, what schools, what colleges, what events, what month. I know everything in advance. And then if I need an extra leg, I say, hey, for example, if Mississippi State University is coming, how do you find the right person for the soccer? So because I'm on the board, I just tell my staff that's at Pensacola Sports, hey, who do you deal with at Mississippi State University? I need that contact, and I just pass it along to my managers, and so it makes things a lot less easier for my staff to reach out to the schools or the colleges that are coming. But it really, and then I did the same thing with Pensacola Sports. I also joined their grant committee because I seen how it helped me on Visit Pensacola's grant committee, so I did the same thing. So now I'm on 2 different grant committees, both of them giving bed tax dollars out. And because I'm a hotel owner, I'm a bed tax collector, so now I'm on the committee, and I get to decide which events are we going to actually give funds to, or which ones are we not going to get funds to. So if I'm sitting there listening to their presentation, I'm like, you want $50,000 and you're going to bring in 10 room nights. No, I'm sorry. Come back with a better event. Come back with something that you're going to do more for the community or more for the hotel owners. And that doesn't just benefit me. It benefits my entire community of hotel owners. And I try to get a lot of people involved locally just because I know how much more it can help us. Because if we're not, I have a saying, and I've heard it before, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So, get at the table, and the only way to get at the table is to be involved. And if you're not involved, you're on the menu because somebody else is at the table. And in all of these associations, whether I was in Visit Pensacola or Pensacola Sports or the grant committees, there's a lot of hotel folks that are on there. And unfortunately, folks from our Indian community, there's very few of us. So there's a table there and everybody's feasting. We're just not at that table. We're on that menu. So my advice to you guys is get involved in your local associations. It can really, 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 really help you drive sales and revenue to your properties because you know what's coming and you know what's coming in advance, and you're not waiting for a calendar, and these other folks have been reached out to these folks 6 months in advance, and now you're just getting what's left over, or you're getting what after they sold out, you get what's left over. So get involved, be a part of those associations, make yourself known, and make sure you get the business up front.
Thank you. So more involving on your own town where your hotel's at. You more get into the city, councilor, whatever you got. But, we go down there and say, how you guys doing? I'm a hotel owner of these areas, and I like to see if I can help with anything with you in communities when you need me, right? So you do a little bit things for your town, and the town will appreciate too. And they will call you, hey, we have this thing going on. Your hotel is the right fit for it. Thank you, Mitesh bhai. Very good job. Okay, Craig, next question is, what are some of the best practices for marketing for independent hoteliers?
Sure. So I'll start by saying that there's a lot of different things that you can do to promote your hotels. We talked about my experience on Google booking travel for my family. I was leveraging AI and it made it a lot easier, but even then, Google released a study, there's over 700 different touch points a user goes through before they book travel. I think Vipul touched on something that I think is very relevant, right? Recognizing we have to build a foundation, right? All of that traffic, all of that demand, all of that interest, to point it to our independent hotels, we must start with the website. How many people bought something in the last 3 days on Amazon? Almost everyone. The reason why you continue to purchase on Amazon is because they make it very easy for you. Right? You have all the information at your fingertips, you have a price comparison, you can look at reviews. You have enough information to make certain you're making the right decision. Why have not hotels done this, right? Where we emulate these e-commerce engines when we build our own websites. right? So starting on the foundation, as you redevelop, or if you're a brand and you're transitioning to an independent, or you're an independent and maybe you have a website that's a few years old, a lot changes. As you go through this process again, look at things that would allow you to be more like an e-commerce engine. Things like rate comparison. Compare your rates with competitors or OTAs. Things like cart abandonment. Every OTA has that technology, right? If you've not booked a reservation, they're going to continue to get in front of you. Those are different features that I think we should all benefit from. And then as you continue to work down that funnel, content is king, right? You've heard people say that. I think some of you touched on your work with the CVB. One of the cool things about that relationship is you start learning about events maybe before they happen. Your independent hotel should leverage that in your marketing, things like event calendars and things like that, things of that nature. The last thing I'll say is your images. When was the last time you took new photography, right? If you look at any modern website, it's going to be a big image or a big video followed by maybe a few blocks of text. They all look the same. It's for a reason, right? Experiential. I want to understand, how would I feel if I booked at this hotel? Now, fun fact and a pro tip, Google's also looking at that imagery and developing their own opinion. We'll talk about that more, but those are some best practices. Hopefully it helps.
Thank you, Craig. Brandy, what is the most important things that a hotel owner can do online to gain more revenue?
Yes, I think tying into what Craig said, I mean, all of you know that your photos is so paramount. Your photos and your descriptions on your listings. How many of you have taken a look at your listing in the last, let's say, even 30 days and done like a real hard look at your list? Have you pulled yourself up, any of you? Like actually Googled yourself to see? No. So this is something that all of you can do first and foremost, is just to perform like a basic audit of your own property. So look up your property, compare it to the other properties that are similar that you know are your competitors. You know who your competitors are, right? So what makes them look better or worse than you? When is the last time you updated your photos? There's so many hotels that we work with that even their driving directions could be incorrect. A lot of hoteliers don't know that there are ways that you can actually flag and remove reviews that are false, slanderous, posted to the wrong property, posted by your competitors. This happens to all of us, right? And a lot of these reviews can be against content policies of those platforms, so like TripAdvisor and Google. And taking the time to go through those first and foremost to see which information is inaccurate, take the time to report those reviews, to have them removed based on their content policies of those platforms, ensuring that all of your photos and information are up to date. And then another level of this that a lot of people don't know about is integrating into Google auto replies and automations. So how many of you know about Google auto replies? Anybody worked with it before? Okay, so this is a really powerful tool, and it's relatively new for Google, where you can actually set up this auto reply, auto responders, which integrates into your frequently asked questions. And this is really powerful because it will send a message directly back to your guest based on their query. And this not only helps to answer the guest's questions, but also can help for search engines, because all of this information is crawled by Google and indexed. So if you sit down and take the time to write out all of the questions that your guests normally ask, are you pet friendly? Do you charge a deposit? Do you offer breakfast? Even down to where do I book or how do I book? Sometimes for independent properties, this is really such a simple tool that you guys aren't utilizing, that when the guest sends a message to your property, just them getting that auto reply back with the answer to that question or the link to book directly with your property can help you dramatically get more direct bookings to your property and also increase guest satisfaction because they're not waiting, they're not calling your property and saying, hey, nobody answered. You're able to list all of those questions, which are then indexed by Google. So when Google's looking, when somebody does a search and they're trying to find out a hotel in your area that allows for pets or offers that particular amenity, they're able to find that quickly, and you're then ranking higher and you're getting more revenue and more bookings.
If I could add to that too, Brandy.
Go ahead.
As far as my experience I was sharing, that's exactly the conversation I was having, right? We're asking Google about this information. Just think your front desk probably gets hundreds of these questions every day, right? But how often are we using them in marketing? That's a great recommendation. Thank you.
Yeah. See? Thank you. Thank you. Good one. I didn't even know that Google can do that now. So I'm going to work on it when I go home. Next, we have Lula. Is OTA the only way independent hotel get business?
No. Way too many to even begin. One of the ways, let's talk about sales first, and your sales departments, if you have salespeople, whether you have to do sales yourself, in independent hotels. So many times run it across sales departments and they say, well, we're going to go out today, we're going to see if this client or that company or that venue has business. Well, time is money, right? So here's a really simple way to find out if somebody has business. It's called importyeti.com. So if I'm competing against your hotel and I've got my sales force out there, we go to importyeti.com. Every package that is delivered to a building like this is tracked. I can find out anybody that is coming to this convention, what they shipped, when they're shipping it, why they shipped it. I can find out every client, every corporation that is coming to this building. I can find out every corporation in your market and who's shipping things in, what packages came in by FedEx, what they ordered by Amazon, what products they're ordering, if they're a t-shirt company, if they're a furniture company, if they're a manufacturer of vehicles, parts. So I have a client list immediately, and I can find out if they're using lodging, rather than qualifying and going door to door to say, do you have business? I know you have business. You shipped over 1,000 packages in here last week alone. So where are you staying? So that's how we quickly get business for independent hotels. The other thing that I would hit on is to make sure that you have a channel manager. And on that channel manager, just like hotel brands that you're competing against, you may have like a standard hotel rate, right? You start with your standard hotel rate, your bar rate. Please make sure that you have a corporate rate. Please make sure that you have a military rate, a standard military discount. And because if you do not have those discounts, how can a travel agent book? You know, a travel agent like American Express, if they go and they log on, they're only looking for corporate rates. They're not looking to start with your bar, search through. So you want to have your rates on your channel manager set up and making sure that it attracts as many different mixes of business as possible. Long answer, but I hope you find that valuable.
Thank you, Lula. It's very good. I never thought I could put a corporate rate on my independent property, but you should. Don't run on a one bill. You get a lot of options out there. Put it out there. Promotion, this, corporate, make it more crowd into your hotel, more guests, right? To increase your revenue. Mithis, what are some of the unique way to do better sales and marketing at the hotel level and independent?
So something unique, I think, goes back to social media. We all seen it. We all do it, especially wives and kids. They're taking selfies wherever they go, right? They see a cool wall with a neon sign. They want to take a picture. There's one of those big-ass wooden chairs. They want to climb on top of the chair and take a picture, right? But who really takes a picture with next to the Knights Inn sign or the Roadway Inn. You ever seen anybody post a picture next to the Econo Lodge sign? You know, so I think first of all it starts with, if you're going to be independent, come up with a nice name for your property. And just with the hotel sign, the sign alone, you know, if it's me, if I'm going to go to an independent hotel that's got a nice catchy name or the Comfort Inn, I'm not really going to post that I was at the Comfort Inn. It's just the Comfort Inn. There's 1,000, maybe 2,000 of them. Versus independent, it's just you, and it's independent, and it's unique, and so use that uniqueness to drive something different, to drive your social media, to drive traffic to your site. Have things that are not very expensive. Have some things in the lobby. Have furniture that's a little bit different, because, of course, the Comfort Inn and the Days Inn and the Super 8, they tell you exactly what kind of furniture you have to have. The independent, you can have whatever you want. You can have something real crazy chair in the lobby, and you can have your front desk light up real crazy like, and I do that. And so people come in and they look in my lobby and like, you have some really bright colors. And one of my hotels, one of our largest independent hotels, was a Quality Inn. We went independent, and we're not finished with it yet. We did a big gut job on the inside, and now outside, we're actually doing multiple colors on the outside, and it's crazy. A couple weeks ago, we had a baby sprinkle at my hotel, and a bunch of Indian people came there with nice Sunday dresses on. I didn't know what was going on. We had already painted 2 buildings. The next day I get on my Instagram and I see people's pictures that they posted. And so one of our walls is purple, another one is pink, another one is red. So anybody that had a red dress on, they stood in front of the red wall and took a picture. Somebody had a purple dress on, they stood in front of the purple wall and took a picture. Somebody had a pink dress on, and all these random people had tagged my hotel. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was just doing it because I just wanted to be extra flavor from the outside while people are driving by the interstate to be like, what's that? What kind of hotel is that? But it's starting to work, and I didn't think it was going to work that fast or that quick or that often, but then that's just paint. So I think, find something unique that doesn't cost you a whole lot, and then use that to make yourself unique. Yes, have the green wall with a neon sign in the lobby somewhere. Have a big wooden chair that kids can sit in, and have your hotel name on top of the wooden chair, and people will tag it, and people will post it, and people will drive revenue to your website. But I think those are just the small things, and it's not big money. It's not a lot of money that you're spending, and you're kind of, like we talked about earlier, you're giving them something unique. The kids come and they get to sit on a big wooden chair and take a picture. Kids will think that's cool. And because the kids think it's cool, the parents will be like, let's go back to that hotel because they had a big wooden chair that the kids could sit in and take a picture. And so it's just really small thing that parents will do because they want their kids to be happy and to take a cool picture. So, it's one of those things, just make yourself unique. You are independent. Use that independence and uniqueness to drive revenue to your hotel.
Very well.
Something I'd like to add to that, I'm working with a property in Gilroy, California, and it's the garlic capital of the world. We just actually got a big piece of garlic to set out front. You're thinking, garlic, how's that going to work? So people will drive by, park, and it's actually increasing our occupancy because they're staying and wanting to take pictures with a big piece of garlic. So I think that's pretty neat.
And I think what's so amazing about that is because as an independent hotelier, you can do anything you want to, right? So in a lot of cases, people are thinking like, well, I don't have anything that makes me unique. And it's like you can decide to be unique, and you can do that thing to make it, to differentiate it and make it so special. And I had this experience just a couple weeks ago with my kids. We were in Las Vegas, and we drove about 30 minutes outside of Las Vegas to have the opportunity to eat the largest mozzarella stick in the world. And this was something that I had never heard about, but this was on TikTok apparently. And there was this line coming out the door, this little hole-in-the-wall restaurant it had this really long mozzarella stick. And it just got me thinking that it's like, hey, they just took the decision. They made the decision to say, hey, we're going to be different. They didn't start off having large mozzarella sticks, but they just said, we're going to do this, and we're going to have the largest mozzarella stick in the world. And I work with a lot of hotels too that they do this exact same thing as independents. To identify as and to make the decision to be, one case is the largest treehouse resort in the world. You know, they just did a Google search, like, what's the largest treehouse resort? Okay, has 16. Okay, well, we're just going to do 100, you know, like something crazy like that. But just taking the time to figure out what can make you unique and stand apart and be different and Instagrammable, so people want to come and just take a picture with that thing, and that can make all the difference.
Yeah. See, the uniqueness, you know your property, your town, where you at, or what state you are. You can make it unique out of what you have. You don't have to follow nobody's rules. Franchise will tell you what to do, what color you got. Independent, you're your own boss. You can do whatever. Nobody will tell you nothing. Make you happy, you think this will make me money, do it. Right? Simple. Because I'm wasting my time if I'm not doing it. I can just sit down behind a desk and people just come and, you know, I want to repeat business. How can I gain more? And those wording, people, I'm telling you, when the customer comes to your place one time, if you have a good experience, he's going to talk to other people. Okay, when you go to this town, make sure stay at this. This is very good. They have a very good atmosphere around it, us and all this stuff, you know. Very friendly. You can do a lot of things in the town. And this is the best place to stay. They're unique. Make yourself a unique. I don't care if you have a 10 independent property and things, but you can be successful if you do something different than other people doing, right? People want to see what if you're doing something different, like, oh yeah, this guy's doing something different. Right? Like the SJ, you change the color and make a difference. Simple, unique, right? Next, Craig, what are some of the tools used for content marketing for smaller and boutique hotel?
So I just learned of one, importyeti.com. That's a great one. I'm going to check it out. So we talked about AI earlier. Some of you using things. My guess is you're probably using like ChatGPT or Google's Bard. It's now called Gemini. Those are great free tools. Use them to their fullest extent. I'm sure a lot of you, though, are curious, what should I talk about? Right? So all of these tools will give you information very quickly, but what should I be developing content for? So there are some tools on the market. I know Milestone has one. I'm sure there are some others that do the whole content intelligence. I'm going to tell you how that's done. So there are 3 tools that I think you should use in combination with something like a ChatGPT or a Google Bard. One is Google Trends. You could ask about anything. You could ask about hotels near Disneyland or Taylor Swift concert in Milwaukee. It's going to share with you the search interest for any term you pop in. So as a marketer, what I'm doing with that is I'm saying, okay, this is peaking in terms of demand. I'm going to develop content for that. Another tool along the same lines, something called SEM Rush. I'm sure all the agencies are using some sort of subscription. You don't have to subscribe. There's a free use of it. What it'll give you is actual search volume for those particular terms. Google Trends will just give you a general interest, 1 out of 100 index. SEM Rush is a great tool for giving you actual volume for those search terms. Hopefully that helped.
I guess, and if you have a question, he's still going to be here after this.
Yeah.
So you can drag him down, put him in a corner and ask him, how can you help me with this? Let's make it happen.
Look forward to it. Yeah.
Right?
Sounds like fun.
Right. Next, Brandy, what is the best way to promote your hotel online for free? I think everybody likes free word, right? How can we do that?
Yeah, I guess tying into what Craig was saying too, I can just kind of spin off of that.
Okay.
Another really powerful tool is, of course, social media, but Instagram. And I don't know how many of you have, let's show of hands, anybody have an Instagram for your business, for your property? Okay, we have a couple hands, okay. So Instagram can be a really powerful tool because if you've noticed or you spent much time on there, there are many, many videos about that are done by travel bloggers, for example, visiting unique properties. And you can do something similar to your SEMrush and different Google searches where in Instagram you could search for Reels. And go ahead and take the time to search for what you think people would be searching for when they're looking for your property. So if you look on the Reels tab and you start to search for Reels just by tags, you'll start to see what kind of content is coming up, and not only the Reels and the content that are coming out of that, but how many Reels include those tags. So this can be really powerful because you may be thinking that somebody's searching for something that they're not searching for. So you could be thinking that they're using a particular keyword or key tags when they're searching for your property, but that's simply not what they're looking for. So you can leverage that and understand what people are actually searching for, and then curtail and build your content specifically and strategically around those keywords to ensure that your travelers are finding you. So if you're a boutique, especially, this is going to be really powerful on Instagram, or if you've made it unique, like Mitesh was talking about, to do that on social media. But also just across all platforms to make sure, and you can also use that ChatGPT to create content for you too. So if you're thinking about, hey, I have all of these listings on Google and TripAdvisor and Booking.com, and my descriptions, I really need to make them more robust and more friendly for search engines, you can ask that to ChatGPT, and it's a free tool that you could say, hey, write me a description for my particular property that has, and just write out all of the information that you have and all of those things that you think make your property unique, and have ChatGPT curate this content for you that you can then tweak, of course, and modify, but then implement onto all of those platforms, which is already updated and optimized for search engines to some degree, and can be a very easy and useful way for you to get more traffic to your property without having to put a lot of work into it.
Thank you, Brandy. It was good. Last, Craig, how to implement personalize with limited budget?
Sure. Just before we go to that, thank you, Brandy, for saying. What I would also say is our industry has a wealth of knowledge on social media in addition to the information we're getting from guests. I know I follow everyone here on LinkedIn, I believe. I'd encourage you to do so as well. If you're curious more about anything that we covered, I know I just posted about 25 different prompts you could use AI for your hotel. It will be a nice list. In regards to personalization, again, another buzzword that I don't believe many independent hotels have really embraced, but I'm going to give you one area that you could do tomorrow. Regardless if you have the infrastructure or the technology, every brand and every OTA has an advertising budget, an advertising spend. As an independent hotel, you need one too, right? It doesn't need to be as aggressive as obviously those partners, but you should certainly own your brand, right? If anyone's searching for your name and they've stayed with you before, you've earned that booking, you should generate that return on ad spend. If you're curious what I might recommend for your hotel, again, I look forward to the reception. But an area of personalization as it relates to advertising, and Brandy touched on it, remarketing. That's anyone who's visited your website, you're serving an ad that follows them throughout their online experience. A little creepy, right? You've seen those ads, I'm sure, on different websites of websites you've once visited, right? That's remarketing. But with remarketing, you could do a few things, right? You can know what pages they visited on the hotel website previously. So obviously any messaging, any copy in that banner will be very compelling, right? You visited this special, I'm going to hit you with this special offer on something that you were just looking at. I had our team take a look at this. The average return on ad spend for similar independent hotels is between 20 and 25x. So every dollar you've invested, you've gotten $20 back. If you're in a market that has some sort of demand generator, like an amusement park or a sporting venue, something like that, that increases to an astonishing 80 to 100K return on ad spend. Wow. Right? So I know the question was doing more with less, but I also see it, I know we're all savvy investors, that's what I love. And I think that is an example of, as an independent hotel, one way you can adopt personalization in a day. And then we go back to the second thing I talked about, which is the website, and obviously choosing the right platform, the right technology that allows you to take advantage of some of those e-commerce type of functionality. That return on ad spend with personalization, I think is something like 122% more return on ad spend just with personalization.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. First of all, we learned a lot of things today. Are we? Let's give a round of applause for our panelists, please. And thank you for your time and taking your time out and educating us, okay? Thank you. I think if anybody have a question for them, okay.
Two questions. One question is for Brandy. So you talked about automatically sending the callers the booking link. Does it require any opt-in from the callers before we send out the link for booking?
Yes, so they would actually press a key, one of the keys to receive that text message. So in that way, they're opting in to receive the text message first.
The second question for Pinkesh, does AAHOA has any WhatsApp group or any other forum for independent hoteliers?
We have a committee as well, and if you need any help, you can go to you can call or contact, there's information on it, or you can call your own director in your area, and we can help you with what you need, and we can help you with branding your place too, to the brand, to independent. How can we transition be done?
Got it.
We can help you all the way down to the end, free of charge for you because you are a AAHOA member.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thanks.
Pinkish, if I can. To answer your question, this is not a AAHOA website, but we do have an independent hotel WhatsApp group. I'm the admin, so if you want to reach out to me, like I said, I'm passionate about making sure our industry, independent hotels can be successful. So I'm the admin of that group, and you'll see that it's one of the most engaged WhatsApp groups, and we are laser focused on independent owners being successful and sharing ideas with one another to be successful.
There we go. Thank you. I didn't even know that. You want me to put my name on it too? Anything else, guys? This is about time. We're going to take 15 minutes break. If you have a question?
No, I was going to say to this gentleman that asked a question, because we're trying to make this interactive, he gets a copy of this book right there. There you go. Yeah. Thank you for asking questions.
Thank you guys for listening to us for 45 minutes. I hope you guys learned something different. I did. I'm going to call them later on and sit down and see what can help me with my website. How can you direct booking? All those good questions, right? End of the day, I want to be a millionaire too. Did you guys want to be a millionaire? Or you just want to work? Right? We're going to make money. How can we save the money to make more money? These people. Thank you guys. Thank you panelists for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a quick 15-minute break, and then next we're going to talk about operations.